And we are continuing our trip through the Big 8 League with Corona Santiago Libero, Sarah Smevog. Sarah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So how did you get your start in volleyball?
Actually, with two of the girls that are on this year's varsity team, Katie Cavender and Hunter Cluis, we were best friends in 7th grade, and I was just coming off of a national championship win for Triple Crown in softball, and I was kind of over it at that point. And I decided to go to one of their practices at Mavericks one day when Lance Stewart, the club director, came up to me. He was like, "Oh, what sport do you play?" "Softball." "Oh, well, maybe you should try volleyball." And so I did, I think like a week later, and I went to one of their rec leagues they had, volleyball for fun. I did one, and they decided to put me on their team after just one practice of even just touching a volleyball. And so from there, that's history.
All right. What are you most looking forward to about the upcoming year?
Definitely the girls. I think this year we have a great dynamic, great team chemistry already. A lot of us have already played together, and I think this year will be super fun because of how good we're going to be and how good we're going to be off the court as well.
Okay. And how has the Big 8 League made you a better player?
Specifically, there has been great players that have gone through this league, like Reagan Lowe, libero from King that graduated 2 years ago. Seeing great players like that, playing next to Natalia Betancourt for my freshman year, playing against Lauren Page, who went to University of Oregon. There's just been great girls that have gone through this league that have done big things, and seeing them and playing against them has definitely made me a better player.
Okay. We did see that you are committed to San Jose State, as your coach told us. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What attracted you to San Jose State, and how much did getting to come back home and play CBU, who will be joining the WAC next year, play into that decision?
San Jose was always appealing because, yes, it's a D1 school, but also I am going to play beach volleyball as well as indoor volleyball there. Their coaching staff is so genuinely nice and driven to win, and that's what I'm about. I am about becoming a better person, but also reaching those goals that are set yearly. Can you repeat what you said about CBU?
CBU will be leaving the Pac West at the end of this year and joining the WAC. And how much did their choosing to realign play in your decision to go to San Jose and get a chance to play at home in front of your old teammates and your friends and your family?
San Jose is actually in Mountain West.
Oh, they're Mountain West now?
That's why I was a little confused. But yeah, I will get the chance to play in San Diego against San Diego State.
Okay.
And for beach, I may be able to play at USC or UCLA.
Okay.
So that'll be super fun. Of course, being in Mountain West, it'll be more difficult for my family to make it out there, especially my grandparents. But I'm happy that we get to play at least once.
Okay.
In Southern California.
I thought San Jose State was in the WAC still. I didn't realize that had changed. Okay. So carrying a 4.3 GPA is hard enough without playing a sport. How have you managed to juggle the two, the classroom and being one of the better student athletes in our area?
Well, having a busy schedule has definitely always benefited me personally. I always function better when I'm busy. Having those set schedules and being able to manage my time well has played a big part in being able to achieve academic and athletic success. And also having understanding coaches and teachers as well. When I do have to miss a class, if I communicate early with my coaches or with my teachers, that plays a big role because sometimes teachers want their class to be put first, vice versa with coaches. But having a teacher as a coach definitely helps because she knows that academics come first.
All right. In your recruiting process, did you take any other visits, any other official visits, and if so, where?
I took two unofficial visits to CBU and Cal Lutheran.
Okay. So, in your opinion, what was the most difficult part of the recruiting process? And then, what advice do you have for kids that are still going through that process, still trying to find that right school that if they want to play collegiately next year?
I think that the hardest part of the recruiting process was definitely the emailing coaches constantly, even when they don't reply to you back right away. It's very hard to take like emotionally because they'll be your dream school and they won't even email you back, and it's difficult. It's important to have connections as well with your coaches, having them reach out to schools for you as well. But my advice to girls still in the recruiting process is reach out to schools that you've never even thought of going to. Limiting yourself will get you nowhere because unless you're 6'6" and smashing balls, it's very difficult, especially for liberos because it's very competitive. San Jose was not my first choice, but they weren't even on my radar to begin with, but going on my visit and seeing how awesome the campus was and how awesome the coaches were, I was so glad that I reached out to them, even though they might not seem as appealing as like some Pac-12 schools.
Okay. What's one random fact that no one knows about you?
That no one knows about me. I'd say I or something that almost a lot of people know about me, but if you can't tell just by looking at me, is that I'm vegan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And how would your teammates and your coaches describe you in 2 to 3 words?
Loud and dedicated.
Okay. What's your funniest moment on the volleyball court?
Oh gosh. Probably, I mean, there's many funny moments, especially with me, but I think it's funny when whenever I'm going really, really hard for a ball, sometimes I will slip, but I still get it up. And I think that's just hilarious. And even during the middle of a play, like the girls will just be laughing, and we can still get through it. But it's just funny because it's so uncoordinated.
Okay. We talk about how volleyball is one giant community. As you have traveled the club circuit over the last few years, talk about the friendships you've formed with kids from the other Big 8 schools. And is there a sort of rivalry when you guys come to the high school side?
Yes, I've played with multiple girls that are on Roosevelt, Centennial, Norco, all the schools. Like everybody has either I've played against sometime or played with, and there's definitely a rivalry because we know each other, especially when we play with each other, we know each other's weaknesses, we know each other's strengths, and there's just a competitive nature that comes along with that, being friends and being opponents.
Okay. And what other sports or activities are you involved in besides volleyball?
I actually play, like I mentioned before, beach volleyball, and I consider them two different
Yeah.
sports because they're really different, and the vibes are definitely different. Beach is more relaxed, and indoor is a little bit more stressful, but they definitely go hand in hand and help my game for either one. I also like to coach as well. I've coached some rec teams at Mavericks, and I've done like little private lessons for the younger girls.
Okay.
But I like coaching because I like to make an impact in girls that will someday be in my shoes and are in my shoes in the past.
Is that the career path you want to take when you're done?
No, not necessarily. It's not like what I want as my career, but I can definitely see myself doing that maybe when I have a family of my own, or like maybe on the side.
Okay. All right, so now it's your rapid fire turn. All right, so we're going to start with the same question we started with Coach Kruger. Where are we likely to find you off the court?
The beach.
Favorite subject in school? What are we likely to find on your iPod, Pandora, or Spotify?
Mostly alternative and R&B.
Okay. Guilty shopping pleasure.
Clothes.
Okay. Game day superstitions.
Wearing the same socks. Washed, of course.
All right. Favorite vacation.
I'd have to say Ecuador as of this summer.
Okay. Favorite restaurant.
Native foods.
Okay. Favorite athlete.
Cassie Strickland.
Okay. Favorite book.
Kite runner.
Okay. Favorite pregame meal.
Pregame meal. Quinoa salad.
All right. Favorite amusement park.
Disneyland.
Karaoke go-to.
Oh. I have to say anything Taylor Swift.
Okay. And if you were the queen of volleyball for a day, what would you change about our sport? Example, rule change, or...
I think I'd change the height of the net so I can hit harder down the line.
And looking ahead at the season ahead, Coach mentioned a very grueling preseason schedule leading into Big 8 play, and a Southwestern League back-to-back. Are you looking forward to that as a senior on this team, as a leader, getting to guide your team through that tough back-to-back, through the preseason and getting into the Big 8 League, and hopefully bringing another title here to Corona Santiago?
Definitely. I'm so excited to play those teams. I think playing teams that are better than you are the way to get better. And I am so excited for me and the girls to be able to face that competition, because I feel like not only will it be fun, but it'll definitely bring us closer together. Okay.
Sarah, thank you for joining us. We will be at a few matches this year, and we look forward to following you guys and seeing the Big 8 and Corona Santiago as a whole do well over the course of the year.
Thank you.
Thank you. There we go.